Scanning for audio.
Hello you, welcome to another Tin Dog podcast. This time I'm going to be talking about the Ark. You know about the Ark. This is the Ark as done by John Lucarotti. Yeah, the original version. Now it's sold as part of the Lost Stories range, although if something made it to TV, is it truly lost? Well, we'll have to discuss that one in a minute. Basically, let me just read you the synopsis. A space station orbiting Earth has lain dormant for 8,476 years. Its systems are clogged with dust, so the human crew kept frozen in cryogenic storage have never woken up. When the Doctor, Sarah and Harry arrive to resuscitate the sleepers, they discover something else on board, a small golf ball-like object that gives Harry an electric shock and has a more sinister impact on the awakening crew. Soon the Doctor and his friends are battling to save the space station and Earth from a ravenous puffball. Yeah. Now, we all know the Ark. We've had the Ark going on in our heads for long enough. We all grew up with the exciting, Target novelisation. And of course the VHS, which we watched to death, and then, the DVDs. We know the Ark because of the woken and the way that the insects create. So imagine that story in an earlier draft, written for a Doctor that they didn't quite know who was going to be playing the Doctor, in a kind of a second Doctory, first Doctory way. I mean, let's face it, John wrote a lot for the first Doctor. And you can kind of tell. This is not Tom. This is a generic Doctor playing the part. Now here we have Tom reading the lines. He seems quite angry while he's doing so. But he is definitely in a story that's very similar to, but definitely isn't, the Ark in space. There are similarities. I mean, let's face it, it is a space station. It is, to all intents and purposes, Nerva Beacon. But it's just not the same story. There's a lot of differences. There's a lot of stuff to be dealt with. Now, the Lost Stories themselves are usually very, very good. This one, however, still feels a bit more drafty. It is an alternative universe version where the creatures are different, the monsters are very different, the humans that are being resuscitated, well, there's no solar flares. This is more pollution-based, which makes a lot more sense. It's more Orphan 44, 43, whatever. You understand. What is important, however, is that we need to remember that this is not the Ark in space. This is very much a draft. It is, I'm not going to say curate's egg. Curate's egg is the wrong word. An archive piece. We either didn't get this story or we get it in this format. And if you look at it that way, that's fine. It's not what you think. Yes, you might not enjoy it as much as the Ark, because the Ark is basically the film Alien done earlier. So that's cool. The bits that were changed for the better. The storyline, well, let's put it this way. The episodes even have titles. Things like Puffball and Chrysanthemum. Yeah, leave it there. It's not important. What is important is that this is an archive piece, to be taken as such, not as a literal version or another rewrite of the Ark. So if you see it like that, you'll be fine. But if you go in thinking this is another Doctor Who story with a... No, it's not the same. Because we got a better version on TV. It's not something you desperately need in your collection, unless, like me, you're a completist. But it is worth a good listen. Here's the trailer as always, and decide for yourself. So until next time, be seeing you.
From Big Finish Productions, the worlds of Doctor Who, the Lost Stories, the Ark.
Noah's Ark? Sorry, did you just say Noah's Ark? As in the animals went in 2 by 2?
But a spaceship rather than a ship. With this being the, docking bay access chamber.
But something's amiss.
Is this it?
I don't think so, Harry. It's the cryogenic power centre. Whatever that is when it's at home.
It's like the cold store of an abattoir. Rows and rows of plastic bags. There must be hundreds of them.
What's in those bags, Doctor?
Oh, just the entire human race, Sarah.
Upon my soul.
What is it? What's the matter?
There is something here. Shut the door, Sarah. Shut the door.
Doctor, I don't seem to be able to catch my breath.
What?
Aliens! There are aliens in the Ark.
Yes, a giant amoeba, but how did you know?
No humanoids.
Can't we just go back to the TARDIS?
No, Harry. If we abandon the Ark now, the human race will die.
Noah!
Come on, Harry!
It's time to conduct the metamorphosis.
If this goes on much longer, I'll end up as a puddle.
Doctor, it was strange. The cerebral strobe suddenly inverted. Look.
Anyone there? Because if there is, I should warn you, I'm carrying a pot of boiling hot tea and I'm not afraid to use it.
Oh, yes, that's what I've been waiting for. Camellias.
You are an unnecessary presence.
That's not ready for you to say.
Big Finish, for the love of stories.
That was the Tin Dog Podcast. Everything discussed is the intellectual property of others. No infringement is intended. For early access to reviews, follow the show on YouTube or Twitter @TinDogPodcast. To contact the show, email tin-dog@hotmail.co.uk. The Tin Dog Podcast is a founder member of the Doctor Who Podcast Alliance.